everybody, I'm Rachel from Mrs. Rachel Brady. Mrs. Rachel Brady is a blog, a YouTube channel, and also now a book club. I will link to all those things below. I'm a mum of two. I have an 8-year-old son, a nearly 6-year-old daughter, and I am pregnant as well with a third child due early September. I vlog about family, food, home and style and all those things, so go and check out my other content as well after the video if you like. Today's video is a little pregnancy update, but also I thought I'd include some pregnancy favourites as well. I'm 27 weeks pregnant and I will show you my bump. Hang on a second. So here's my bump. I'm 27 weeks. I've been big all the way through. I'm a kind of slimish, tall, quite tall, slimish, like 10 to 12 kind of person, but I've just had a big bump this time. I think people have said to me it's a third baby thing. So yeah, I am quite big. So yeah, I'm 27 weeks. What's new? Well, I'm feeling really good. I'm not feeling kind of particularly tired or anything. I do get tired in the evening, but like nothing bad. I am experiencing though like late afternoon to late evening indigestion. I've got these in my drawer, but I haven't actually cracked them open yet. I actually got them out last night and was like, oh, and then I read the instructions and it said take them an hour before bed, and I thought, well, I'm in bed now, what's the point, I'll be asleep in 10 minutes. I'm really looking after myself. I'm like eating a good diet and I'm exercising in so much as I'm walking my dog for like 45 minutes, an hour every day. And I'm also doing some yoga. I'll show you what my DVD in a second. So next week I've got a 28-week scan with my consultant, the scan and then an appointment with my consultant, and I'm under consultant care, I think, because I have had a section in the past with my first child. I had a VBAC with my second child. I think I did a video on that for Channel Mum like some time ago. I'll link to it below. Next week we're going to discuss you know, the birth, because it's kind of getting closer and stuff. I mentioned in another video I was having a bit of a dilemma really early on, too early to have worried about it really. I was worrying about VBAC or section, and I think I was just chatting to my friend before, and I think I'm just going to chat to the consultant and I'm probably going to go for a VBAC, because I think it's been nearly 6 years since my last VBAC and there's no reason to think that the scar will rupture. I'm just going to have a chat with her and just see. I mean, even, you know, the best laid plans of mice and men, or whatever the saying is, because, you know, you could plan for a VBAC and then the baby could be breached. So I'm just kind of taking a back seat and letting things just get a bit closer to the time before I really think too much about that. So on another pregnancy note, we've been thinking a lot about baby names. I have a list, and I have a list, I've got that list down to about kind of 5 or 6 that I would strongly consider. One is a strong forerunner. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I've told people in the past baby names and then I get loads of negative reaction, and it puts you off the name. And yeah, there's something wrong with all of the names I choose. Either someone I know has got a child with that name, or like a well-known vlogger has got a child with that name. But I just think I'm being a bit OCD, so like there's never going to be a perfect name, you know. I think you've just got to go with a name that you really like and that sits well with the other 2 names. Another pregnancy related news, I have agreed to do a post about placenta pills. Ooh. So a friend of mine in Manchester, a really good mum friend of mine, had this experience with her child who is now probably about 4 or 5, and she swore by it. She said it was a great experience. She actually had a smoothie as well as the pills, which I'm like, whoa, I don't think I could do the smoothie. But anyway, I had someone contact me and say, are you interested in kind of having your placenta turned into pills and then taking them? I did a bit of research on it and I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm really open-minded with stuff like that. As far as I believe, there aren't any risks. I've read up on it. It's a very reputable company that we're going to be using, so I'm going to be doing that. So I've agreed that with the lady who does it all, and touch wood, all going well, that's going to happen. I believe it helps with kind of baby blues, with getting your mojo back, and like loads of other just like benefits are supposed to come from it. And it's something that a lot of animals do in the wild. I know I probably get loads of people just saying this is nonsense, like why are you doing it? But I just think each to their own. I'm really curious to see if it will give me my energy back after having the baby, especially with 2 more kids to look after. I'm just like, I'm willing to try anything. In terms of breastfeeding, I've been really thinking about that as well, and I've been reading in my baby book of choice just a bit about, you know, breastfeeding theory, you know, why things go wrong, and like thinking back to kind of what happened with my first 2. So with my son, I breastfed for, well, he had breast milk for 6 weeks because I expressed, but he was underweight. We went back into hospital. Breastfeeding didn't go very well, and I was kind of, I was put on that kind of 3-step thing of like breastfeed, bottle feed, express. And then when I couldn't breastfeed anymore because it was so painful and he was underweight, I was expressing and bottle feeding. And I just found that so exhausting. I didn't find it a very good experience. And then with my daughter, I lasted 6 days and I had to have a night off because I was just a broken human being. And then Adam gave her a bottle in the night, and by the time we got to feeding her the next day, she was like sucking away on these bottles, and I was too exhausted to really persevere with breastfeeding. So this time my approach is going to be that I'm going to give it a damn good shot, but I am not going to bust my arse over breastfeeding this time. I've got 2 of the kids to look after. In the past 2 babies, with the experience I've had with them, I was really like, especially with Arthur, I was really down about it, and I just, with the benefit now of a bit more age and years of experience being a mum, I just know it's just like such a small part of being a mother. So I will try to breastfeed, but going on my past experiences, I'm not like going into it with a negative state of mind. I just know that it might not work out, and I'm definitely not going to let myself beat myself up about it, if that makes sense. Right, so I think that's kind of like all the things I wanted to talk about. So I thought I'd show you some pregnancy faves. And this is the first one. It's a mega treat one. This is called Nux. I don't know, I call it Nux. Maybe it's not called Nux. Huile Prodigious. And I got it on the plane on the way to Greece, and it's multi-purpose dry oil for face, body and hair. I don't use it on my face, but it's absolutely gorgeous, especially if you're going on holiday and you're pregnant, to use as a kind of after sun oil. It's got like a really subtle fragrance. As you can see, I have not used much of it. I used it every single day really generously on holiday, and then since I've been back, because you know, we're just at home, I've not been using it at home. But if I went out at night, especially if I had some skin on show, it gives your skin like a really lovely glow. So at home, when I'm not using this, which is most days, I use this Aveeno Daily Moisturising Lotion, which is completely plain, fragrance free. Sorry, I keep looking up just to make sure it's not blurred and it's in focus, and I'm really happy with that. It's just like a supermarket body lotion. Nice. So I talked a bit about doing yoga before. This is what I'm doing at the minute because I couldn't find a dedicated pregnancy yoga channel. I found 1 or 2 videos. It was like an Indian lady, and I really enjoyed doing those, but I wanted something that I could keep coming back to, in like a practice that was all in one, if that makes sense. And this is perfect for that because it's got like it's got like the foundations of yoga, breathing, back, neck and shoulders, a 20-minute move section, and hips. The only thing it hasn't got in it, it's got a relaxation bit at the end, is like some tips and things to kind of get you through labour. So when I did pregnancy yoga with my second child, the teacher was very focused and at the end on kind of using these techniques in your labour, and I used the shushing technique, which I can still remember, which is like shh on the exhalation. My next pregnancy favourite is something a little bit TMI, and it is these Always Dailies. I just did an Instagram post for them, which was sponsored. I will only ever do a sponsored post or any sponsored activity if I genuinely like and use the product, and that is the case with these. So I was experiencing a little problem, and it's only happened in this pregnancy, and I don't normally have this problem at all, which is going to the loo. I would get to the loo fine, like no accidents, like I don't need like a tenor lady or anything, and then I'd like wipe and walk away, and I would feel like the smallest little bit like that almost like was stored somewhere that just released afterwards, so I would always feel like slightly damp. They're really good, they just keep you fresh and like you feel dry. They're really nice and thin, you can pop a few in your bag. My last pregnancy fave is my pregnancy book of choice, which is my Gina Ford Contented Little Baby book. I posted about this on Instagram and quite a few of you got in touch with me about it, because it's such a dividing book. People really hate it, don't they? But also people really love it. Like, I wouldn't say I would stand and scream from the rooftops about it. Like, I'm not like obsessed with it. Like, I didn't do her routines to the absolute letter with both of my kids, but I read it before I had both of my kids, and I find it a really good reminder, overview, refresher about why how babies work, and kind of why they need the sleep that they need, and why they need the different types of breast milk. So you know, like the fore milk and the hind milk, and why it is that you need to start on one breast and then the other. All of that, like, kind of basic grounding, is particularly with my first baby. I was so green, and this really helped save the day. And also, I'm a massive believer in routine. It's just how I am. I'm just quite an organised routine person. I can't wing it, it's too stressful. So guys, that's it. I really feel like I've talked for a long time today, so I will try to chop it down so it's not too long. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you're pregnant and at a similar stage to me, or if you're right at the start, or if you're at the end, or anyway, just say hi, whatever stage you're at. I'll leave some links to some videos below that relate to some of the stuff we talked about today, and that's all for now, guys. Bye.